euro. Now, bear in mind, you're not only just buying the euro or you're just only selling the dollar. You can't do that. You have to bet on a currency pair. What is a pair? Well, it's, you know, two things. It's like when you have a pair of shoes, you have your left shoe and your right shoe. If you have a pair of sandals, you have your left sandal and the right sandal. So when you have a currency pair, you have one currency pair and then another currency pair. And what they're doing is they are together battling each other. Who gets stronger than the other? Who's driving price up and who's driving price down? So for example, let's use Euro USD, which is the most known pair in the whole entire foreign exchange market. It is the most traded currency pair in the whole entire market. It has the most volume and the most movement, meaning that there's more opportunities and how you can actually capitalize off of it, but more on that later in this video. So when you're actually trading the foreign exchange market, you have to trade on a currency pair. Euro USD. If you were to buy Euro USD, you are betting that the euro is going to get stronger than the dollar because the euro drives price up. And if you were to sell Euro USD, you are betting that the dollar will get stronger than the euro. And that is because in the Euro USD pair, the euro is the base of the currency pair, and then the USD is the quote. So basically the euro is what drives the price up, and then the USD is what drives the price down. So if you see the price going up, that means that the euro is getting strong. And if you see the price going down, that means that the USD is getting strong. So if you want to bet on the dollar getting stronger, you have to sell Euro USD because the US dollar is going to get stronger than the euro. And if you want to buy Euro USD, you are betting that the euro will get stronger than the dollar. And this works for all currency pairs across the market. For example, GBP USD. It's the Great British Pound versus the dollar. So if you buy GBP USD, you are betting that the pound will get stronger than the dollar. And if you are selling GBP USD, you are betting that the dollar will get stronger than the pound. And in the foreign exchange market, there's thousands of pairs. I'm talking literal thousands. Like you can have the US dollar against the Mexican peso. You can have the Mexican peso against the Russian dollar. And that is the beauty of this market. There are so many different types of opportunity because there is so much more money being moved than the stock market, than the futures market, than even the crypto market. There is $6.6 trillion being moved every single day because this is a market of the whole entire world, of all the currencies in the world combined in one single market. Compared to the New York Stock Exchange or US 30, you're only dealing with the companies inside of the United States, which can only be so big. So that is pretty much a very entry level of what Forex is. Now, there is many markets out there like futures, commodities, cryptos, options, and there's great opportunities there, but nothing compared to Forex. So now let's actually dive deep into actually how this market works and how you can learn everything you need for you to be able to go battle this market every single day. So now that you've seen that there's different types of currencies that you can actually trade all around the world, now there's actually different types of formats that you can trade. There's different types of way on how you can approach these different types of currencies that they all move very different. So to begin with, you have scalp trading, which is known as the lower time frame traders. These are the traders that have the faster movements, that they're in the market a lot less time. They have a higher win rate, but a lot less of a risk to reward. These are traders that usually are kind of stuck in front of the market the majority of the day or the majority of the night, that they have to dedicate hours sitting in front of the computer to just find one little good opportunity because they're only in the market probably within 1 to 2 hours of the market movement, which they can either be winning very fast or losing very fast. And some scalpers can either enter 1 to 3 trades every single day in order for them to make some money or just make back losses from the previous day, because the majority of the scalpers will lose the majority of the time because they're taking a lot of trades constantly. And scalp trading is actually the most attractive type of trading that beginners kind of approach to it because they just passionate about trading and they want to be in front of the charts as much time as they can. So they approach scalping thinking that's going to be the best way for them to make money. Next, it leads me to day trading. So I'm sure we've all heard the term, oh, he's a day trader, or I know a day trader. Well, it's actually a very common term because it's what the majority of the people that work a 9-to-5 attempt to do. Because for you to be a day trader, you pretty much have to be in front of the markets while you're in a job. So people kind of treat it as their side income. And day traders are usually in front of the markets a little bit less time than scalpers, but they are definitely taking a lot less trades. They would be taking maximum 1 trade every single day, because anything more than that, you fall into the category of scalping. And day traders are a bit more selective when it comes to the trades, and their trades can last anywhere from 1 to 3 days to play out. Unlike the scalpers, that their trades can last anywhere from 1 to 2 hours. So day trading, your trades are actually being held 1 or 2 days compared to scalpers, which is a little bit of a time. Next is going to be swing trading. So swing trading is actually a approach of the market where you are swinging the market, meaning you're just chilling. You're going to be in maybe 1 position a week, maybe 2 positions a week if you find a good probability trade, and you'll hold it throughout the weekend. So you'll be in the position for anywhere from 4 to about 8 to 10 days. And these positions usually run a lot longer, giving you a lot more profit. And you actually have to do a lot less work. You're probably in front of the markets for 1 to 3 hours every other day. You don't have to be involved in the market that much, because as soon as you enter a trade, you're pretty much letting your trade ride until it goes in your direction or against you. But swing traders are taking a lot less trades, but they are risking a lot more compared to the day traders and compared to the scalpers. And swing traders usually tend to have the highest win rate because they're being very, very selective on the type of trades that they take, because they're only taking anywhere from 1 to 2 trades a week. And then next is going to be position trading. So position trading is a trader or investor that pretty much enter a trade with a long-term vision. They want to be in the market for anywhere upwards of a month, and they are not looking to liquidate their position anytime soon because they're treating it as a investment, as a position that they're entering in the market. So they're prepared to be involved for about 1 to 2 to 3 months to just simply have their trade get as much profit as it possibly could be. And position traders or investors, they'll probably take 1 to 2 trades a month, if any. Usually they stick to 1 trade a month because they're looking at the market long term. They're not looking to have any short-term gain, and they're looking to minimize their losses as much as they possibly can. And investors and position traders are actually the ones that lose the least, because even if their positions go into a loss, they're going to continue to hold it long enough until it goes into profit. And if you hold a trade long enough, it will go back into profit. So as you can see, every single format of trading actually scales up on the amount of time that you're actually holding a position. A scalper is involved in the market anywhere from 1 to 2 hours a day. A day trader anywhere from 1 to 2 to 3 days in the market. And you have a swing trader where it's anywhere from 4 to 8 to 10 days. And then a position trader where it's upwards of a month. So every single different type of format in trading, they are actually holding their trades longer, but they're actually taking less trades. So as the formats, they scale, so does the time they hold the trade, but the amount of trades they take is a lot less. And all of these different formats you can actually apply to all of the markets. You can apply it to foreign exchange trading, to commodities, futures, options, crypto, everything that has pretty much a chart with candlesticks that go up and then they go down. But the best one, and the one where I've had the best experience and the most success, is going to be Forex trading. That is because it offers the best things that no other market can offer. It has 24/5 access, meaning you can trade Monday through Friday, any hour out of the day. So if you work a job, you can trade when you get out of your job. If you're up late at night, you can trade late at night. If you're up early in the morning, you can trade early in the morning. Compared to, let's say, options or stocks, you can only trade 9 to 5, which kind of sucks because if you have a job, you can't get involved in the market. You're simply limited to what you can actually do in the market. The next reason why it's my favorite and why I got involved is because the entry barrier. For you to get started in Forex trading, you can start with as little as $100, or compared to the stock market where your entry barrier is going to be $25,000 as your minimum first investment. And I don't know about you, but when I first started trading, I did not have that kind of money, so I simply couldn't get involved. Another reason why it's the most reliable is because you're literally trading money. It's impossible that the currencies of the world simply disappear from one day to another. If that happens, we're in a big problem, but that will literally never happen. Compared to a company in the New York Stock Exchange, they can simply just go bankrupt one day or get sued and you're done for. Or a crypto can pretty much get rug pulled and all your money is gone from one day to another. The currency exchange market is here forever and it is going to be here forever. Countries run on these currencies and they need to do that for it to keep going. For that reason why the currency exchange market only gets bigger year after year. And the opportunities are going to be there forever. And adding up to that, you can actually get involved for free. You can actually test and apply the markets and try and figure out if it's going to go up or down with fake money. You can use demo money to test your skills and learn it before you actually put real money at risk. And when I was trying to get involved in the crypto market, this simply wasn't a thing. They don't allow you to use this with fake money. It wasn't even an idea. Versus in the foreign exchange market, not only can you access it whenever you want, you can actually test it with fake money, which is actually really cool. And if you don't know what demo is, it's pretty much simulated markets. It's demo. It's not real money. It's paper trading, fake trading, where they just give you fake money in an account where you can get and pretty much go test it out. So if you want fake $100,000 and you want to test out your skills, you can do that. If you have $5,000 to put into the market and you want to test out your skills first, you can create a fake account with $5,000, which is actually amazing. So that way you can actually see how far you can get with demo money, so that when you're ready to deposit your own money, you're ready. So now that we understand how the Forex market works, a very simple way, we have to understand how can we actually execute into these markets. What platforms are required? What platforms should you look at? What platforms shouldn't you look at? And this is where it can get a little complicated if you don't have the right video. And that's why everything is inside of this video, which is going to teach you the only platforms that you're going to be needing in order to be able to execute trades in the market successfully. Now, there is hundreds of different platforms. There is thousands of different people directing you to different places, but these are the only platforms that I have personally been using for the last 7 years trading in the markets, and I have never ever needed anything else when it comes to actually executing in the market other than these platforms. And I've made probably around $10 million on just using these two simple platforms. You do not need anything else other than these two platforms that I'm going to be explaining now. And then obviously a third one that you will have to do your own due diligence on, but this is going to make sense in just a second. The first platform is going to be TradingView. So TradingView is pretty much what its name says. TradingView. You're going to view the trades on this website. This is a well-known website, I think used around about 80 to 90% of the market. And this is where you're going to be actually looking at the charts. This is where you're going to be looking at the markets going up, at the markets going down. This is where you're going to look at the markets, for example, Euro USD, how we were setting an example, GBP USD, GBP CAD, so on and so forth. Now, this platform is strictly and only to simply just look at the market. This is where you're going to be identifying if you're ready to buy or if you're ready to sell. But you will not be entering a buy or sell on this platform. It's something that the platform offers, but I personally have never used it. Neither has anybody in my community, or I've heard anybody of ever using it before. It's something that they offer, but I personally rather stick to the different options that I'm going to share with you now. So TradingView, to keep a very simple example, is just somewhere where you can view the charts. And this is a platform where you're only going to be looking at stuff. You're not going to be executing other than just things you will be drawing on the charts to identify if there's a high probability of it going up or a high probability of it going down. This is where you will be doing your charting. This is where you're going to pretty much spend, I'd say 90% of the time that you're in front of the markets will be on TradingView. Because when you actually execute a trade, it will be on a different platform. And you're not going to be looking at the numbers on the screen. You will simply be looking at the charts, because what's on the charts will reflect on the numbers on the screen, which will be on your phone or your computer, wherever you decide to actually take the trade. But TradingView is simply just so you can see the charts, whether they're going in your favor or against it. And the simplest analogy that I can put is like you right now watching this video. You're watching this video to intake the information that I am giving you, so then you can learn and then you can go execute in the market. But you're not executing a trade on YouTube. You're not doing anything on YouTube other than simply getting educated and absorbing the information that I am giving you, or that you're simply watching on YouTube. And you can watch the video in a bunch of different formats. You can watch short-term videos, you can watch long videos like this one, you can watch it in theater mode, in full screen mode, or on your phone. So there's different types of ways on how you can intake this information. It's the same exact thing with TradingView. You're looking at the charts in a bunch of different ways so you can intake the information, so it can tell you if you're ready to buy or if you're ready to sell. But you're not doing anything other than just looking at the information that the market is sharing with you on TradingView. So let me actually take you to TradingView just so you guys can get a very simple insight of what this actually looks like and what to pay attention to and what to not pay attention to, because this can almost be very overwhelming at the beginning and information overload. And trust me, it happened to me, and I almost kind of got intimidated and didn't even want to look at it too much because I just didn't know what to look at. So I'm just gonna explain to you right now what are the only things that matter when you log into TradingView very briefly, and then you're going to see what you shouldn't be paying attention that, because honestly there's a lot of stuff here that you really don't need. So diving into TradingView right now, this is as soon as you log in, this is what you will be seeing. You will be seeing pretty much to your top left hand side is your accounts, and you're going to see all of these tools that are randomly right here to the left hand side that you probably have no idea what the use is for. But everything inside of here is basically a tool that you can use to your advantage to chart up the chart. It's simply things that you can use to put on top of the chart so you can create an edge on the trade that you will be taking. You will not be needing everything that is in this toolbox right here. This is absolutely excessive, and you only need to use about 7 to 8 tools out of everything this platform has to offer. So if you come back here to TradingView, this is just a simple ray example that I have just showed you, and it is really not necessary at all. Within this section, you have many different types of lines. You have the info line, the extended line, trend line, horizontal line, all these lines that literally I do not use, and you will never need to use it. You will only need to use 3 things from this line section, and that is going to be the trend line, the horizontal line, and the horizontal rate. So if you'd want it, all you have to do is put a little star. When you put a star, you will notice that it will pop up on this box right here that is going to pop up in front of your charts. This is going to be your favorited tools out of all of the ones that the platform has to offer. This is so you can pretty much filter out the only things that you need, because again, there's many things in this platform that you do not need to pay attention to, and there's many things in this platform that as of today, being a multi-millionaire trading on this platform, that I have never used, meaning you will never need to use them either. So you just simply, I'm going to explain to you what they are, and don't even get curious on learning what it is. Simply just know that it's there and know that you will not be needing it ever to become successful in trading. So moving on, you have the channel section, and this is where there's different types of channels, pitchfork, shift pitchfork, all of these things that make absolutely no sense. And all you have to do is just completely ignore it. You will not be needing anything inside of the line section other than these 3, because this has no indication to creating an edge in the market, how I have been trading for the last 7 years. Now, there's might be some strategies out there that do, but the majority of them don't really use it, especially mine. So when it comes to here on the second section, you're going to have your Fibonacci area, where there's about 10 different types of Fibonacci's, and we will be using absolutely zero of these Fibonacci's. These are all different types of random stuff that just make your chart look weird. Like, look at this. You're gonna tell me you can create an edge with this funnel or this fan, whatever this is even called? No, it simply doesn't make any sense. It's just accumulating your chart. It's putting mathematics behind it that honestly it's not needed when it comes to trading. All you will need when it comes to trading is read the price action, which price action is the chart, but we'll get into more details later in this video. I can only get into these details when you actually know how to visually see them, because you have to see them on a platform, and this is the platform that you're going to be seeing them in. So you will not be needing any of this complicated stuff. This just makes the trading complicated and very intimidating to a beginner trader, and you don't need anything inside of this Fibonacci section along with the gain section. You can simply move on to the next section, which is going to be the pattern. Because again, Fibonacci is just an equation where you can create an edge on it, but I will explain to that again later in this video. Right now, I just want to show you what the platform looks like, and I'll get into more details later, along with the patterns that we are in this section now. And the only pattern that we will be using is going to be head and shoulders. You can simply put a little star next to the head and shoulders, and you will notice how it's going to pop up over here to the top right hand side corner. We will not be using the ABC pattern or whatever this is. I've literally tried to figure out many times and it doesn't work. Other than the pattern section, we will completely avoid the Elliott waves and this section down here. This will not be needed in this trading approach, simply because it is information overload. These are all different types of indicators to read the market, and indicators, as many of you may know, or if you don't know, they don't have a high success rate because indicators are delayed. They take time for the markets to be able to have a reaction to them. So by the time you get your entry based off of an indicator or one of these tools, you're pretty much late already. So we will not be paying any type of attention to any of these different types of Elliott waves or any of these types of cycles that the market has to offer. Moving into the next section is going to be the projection section. You're going to put a star on the long position and a star on the short position. This is pretty much going to be the tool that is going to tell you if you are buying or if you are selling. Simply just take a quick look at it. It's probably this green and red box that you see all the time these traders put, but don't worry about it. More on this later in the video. Right now, I just want to get you to be very familiar with looking at these things, so when I dive into detail on every single one of them, you're very educated and up to speed, and it makes sense right away. Moving on, we will be looking at the brushes. You only have to put a star on the brush and a star on the rectangle, the path, and the eclipse. Everything else in this section you will not be needing. You will not need to be paying attention to it. Again, it's information overload. What they did was put 4 different types of arrows. You have the arrow marker, which just looks excessive. Then you have this type of arrow, and then you have this type of arrow right here, which is just another arrow. It's just different types of ways that the platform offers services for all different types of traders, which is cool because pretty much they are meeting the standards of every trader around the world, but you're only one trader. You shouldn't be looking at all the information for traders all around the world. You should only look at what's going to make sense for you. And in this video, I'm going to only show you what's going to make sense for you. So now moving on to the next section is going to be this T. So this is going to be the text and the notes section. So you want to put a little star on the T and a star on the call out. You won't need anything from the content section because this is pretty much whenever you want to write notes on the charts, you can simply just write it on the text section. Or if you ever want to call out a specific section in the charts, you can just point at it and you have a call out section. These are both things that I just use to actually just have notes on the chart if you want to save it for the future, if you want to look at it when you're back testing, or if you just want to hide a message in your chart. Moving on now to this little emoji section over here. You will not be needing any of these emojis. TradingView is very clever. They literally put the whole entire emoji section on an iPhone. I don't know why they did this. I've actually never used this in my life, so I take my trading very serious. So I will not be putting any emojis or any hearts or anything on my chart. I keep this strictly to business, and I only look at the stuff that matters. This clearly does not matter. Imagine putting like a smiley face or a winky face on your chart, and then when you go show your friends your trades, they see that and they're like, what the hell? yeah, so you don't want to focus on these emojis. Moving on, you have the measurement section. So you can't put a star on this because it will permanently stay on this section right here. But this is where you'll be measuring the trades, whether how long they are, how many days, the actual percentage it went up or the percentage it went down. This is the measurement tool that you can use to measure pretty much everything when it comes to the markets. And we're gonna explain later in this video how you can actually use it. Just this is what it is. This is the zoom in and zoom out. I have never used this button and I will not be using it today because I am not interested in using it. I have never used it. This is a magnet. I have no idea what this is good for. I have never used it in my life, so we will not be paying attention to this at all. This is going to be the stay in drawing mode, which I also have never used in my life, and you will not be needing it. It is absolutely pointless. Along with this lock all the drawing tools. I've never used this in my life and I do not plan to ever use it as well, and I have not used it to this day. Moving on, this is going to be the hide all drawings. This will be a button that I use frequently when I usually have a lot of stuff in front of my charts. Let's say your charts are a little bit accumulated and they're a little bit, clogged up and you want to clear it up just for a second. You can just click this button and it will clear it up, and you click it again and it brings all of your indication of the charts back. So again, you can't put a star in it. You can simply just click it and it will disappear your trades and tools and then bring it back whenever you need it. So we don't really use it, but it's good to know what it is. And then next is whatever the hell this is. I have no idea what it is. I've never used it. And then obviously, which is the trash section, you can simply click the trash and you can remove all 3 drawings, 1 indicator or 3 indicators, or simply if you want to delete something, you can just click it and you can click the little trash button, which will pop up right here. And then you can delete it if you want to delete one thing at a time. And then the last button in this chart is going to be this little star to the bottom here. So as you can see, it says show favorite drawing tools toolbar. So this is our favorite tools. So this is our favorite toolbar of our trading tools. If you want to see it, you have it there. If you don't, you simply click the star and it'll disappear. If you want to bring them back, you simply click it again and it will pop up again. So for the majority of the time, I say 99% of the time, you're going to have this star open because these are your tools that you're going to use to analyze the markets to tell you if you're interested in buying or interested in selling. So this is everything that you will be needing and what everything pretty much consists of this left-hand side on TradingView. Moving on now to the bottom right of the screen, you're going to see this stock screener. I have no idea what this is. I'm going to click it just for this video, and I guess something popped up down here. I have no idea what this is. We don't trade stocks, so I will not be paying attention to this ever, and I have never paid attention to this. Same thing goes for the Pine editor. Same thing goes for the strategy tester and trading panel. I have never used any of these tabs in my 7 years of trading the markets, so there is absolutely no need for this information here. Along with this 1 day, 5 day, 1 month, 3 months, 6 month, year, 1 year, so on and so forth, you will not be needing to pay attention to this because we will be looking at the time frames that we need in just a second. So this section, pretty much all down here, sums up of nothing. We will not be using absolutely anything from this section here. Moving on to this timer right here. This is currently the timer of where I am right now. As you guys can see, it is currently 2:34 in the morning Miami time. So yes, I am recording this video at 2:30 in the morning to show you guys how hard I put my time into the value that I provide to you guys. It is currently a Friday night and I can be out partying or clubbing and having fun, but I'm like, you know what? I want to make this video for an Alex when 7 years ago he wanted to get started in trading and he wanted to know everything in one single spot. He wanted to make sure that he didn't have to go watch 100 other videos and see if he can piece everything together. So I'm making this video for you guys right now, pretty much at 3 in the morning, so you guys can just watch this one video and have absolutely everything you need to learn trading and apply it to the markets. So make sure that you listen and pay attention to the things that you need and to the things that you don't need, because I am making this so easy for you guys that you do not have to go watch any other video. Everything is going to be in this video from this point all the way to the end. I'm giving 100% dedication to this so you guys can have success like me and shorten your learning curve by years. If I would have had this when I started trading, I would have been profitable in my first 6 months. But everything happens for a reason. That's why I'm here making this video for you guys now. So now going back to the chart, this is the time zone of where we currently are. And then this is a little arrow to show the panel, which I have never used. And this is just a maximize panel, which I have never used either. I have never used anything of this bottom section over here. This section over here to the right hand side is pretty much information about the currency pair that we are interested in trading. Now again, keep in mind, a currency pair is a pair of two different types of currency. The example that I was setting earlier was Euro USD, which is the Euro dollar versus the United States dollar. As you guys can see, this is Euro USD, the Euro versus the dollar. This is a Forex major pair. This is currently the asking price of this market, and this is just simple performance standards that the platform has to offer. I have never used any of these stats in my favor to enter a trade or to get out of a trade. I have never used this in my life. Usually what I tend to do is just put this note section so it can just not distract me and I can write whatever notes that I want right here. But I have never used the actual information that they apply when they're showing you the currency pair. As you guys can see, moving up a little bit more, you can see all of these different currency pairs. If I were to click a different one, this is the Euro and the Japanese Yen, Euro JPY. You can see the two different countries right here. This is indicating a strong buy. And I'm telling you right now, 90% of the time, this doesn't work. So there's no reason why you should ever be paying attention to it. So I skipped this little section right here, which is a metric section, which is literally where we are right now, the notes section, and then this little 3 dots. So I have never in my life ever used any of these buttons. They're absolutely pointless and they are needed for nothing in order to become successful in trading. Moving on to this bottom section right here, I guess this is a help center. I have never used it as well. And along with a calendar, which I have never used in my life when it comes to trading, especially on this platform. Moving on up here, every single one of these buttons to the top right side of TradingView is absolutely pointless. I don't know what any of them are, and I have never put any time to even knowing what they are, because from the moment that I came into trading, I just wanted to focus on what matters. I wanted to focus on what I was trading, and what I was trading is the chart. It's literally these candlesticks that are in front of you, this price that's going up and down. You're not trading all these different options. It's information overload. The only thing you will be needing is this top right button, which is going to show you your watch list, which will be the pairs that you are interested in trading. Now, what pairs should you trade? What pairs shouldn't you trade? I'm going to explain more on this later in this video, so make sure you stick around. And if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. So moving on to the top right hand side corner, this is going to be a publish button. I've never used it as well. And I have never used absolutely any of these buttons that are here to the top right hand side of this TradingView ever. There's absolutely no need for it, and I have never used it. Oh, and actually a fun fact, literally just the other day, I found out what this button did. I'm talking about like a month ago. I figured out you click this button and it just zooms into the whole screen. That's how I did that right there. That's how I literally put the whole screen on that monitor. I didn't know how to do it before. I just started clicking random buttons and that popped up, which is kind of cool, but it's not going to make you profitable. So there's no reason to pay attention to it. So if you lose your list for whatever reason, you simply click this button and it will pop up right there. Moving on to this blue list, this is where you're going to list the pairs that you will be trading. You can have a red list, an orange list, purple list, blue list, whatever color list that you want. Currently, we are on my blue list, but this is pretty much almost like filtering out your contacts. If you want to have contacts that are your favorites, if you want to have contacts that are primary, contacts that are secondary, they're all the same in the same contact list, but some are in the priority, others are not in the priority. Well, this is the exact same thing, but instead of putting it by different sections, it's by different colors. Moving on to this different button, this is going to be the symbol section. This is going to tell you exactly what symbol you are trading, whether you're trading Bitcoin, NAS, Euro JPY, Euro USD, the list goes on. It just indicates to you that this section is the symbol. This is last, change, and change again. I don't even know what any of this stuff are. Absolutely pointless to me. Along with these 3 buttons right here. I have never used them, and I do not plan to ever use it. That's as far as my knowledge goes with it. Continuing to the middle top section of the screen, you can see how there's these two little arrows. So if you've ever used Excel, if you've ever used Word and you make a mistake and you want to go back, you simply just click this back section and it will go back for you to where it was previously on the chart. If you want to go forward, simply click this button and it takes you forward to the last point where you put on the market. It's very simple and it's very straightforward. This is going to be the replay button. So I'm going to explain more on this when we actually get into the back testing section of this video, because this is the back testing button. This is where you can click it and you can immediately back test the strategy as far back as you want. Let's say if you were to want to back test to right there, the market will pretty much reset to that point, where then this bottom section will pop up where you can pretty much start playing the market and start creating, you know, an edge on the strategy that you're testing, or just to get confidence and learn how to read the charts over time. But again, more on this later in the video when I'm going to explain back testing and how you can actually use it to your advantage so you can capitalize off of it. Next is going to be the alert section. So this is when you want to place an alarm on the charts. Let's say on Euro JPY, you want to place an alarm. Once it crosses a certain price, you simply come here and you can just put enter, and you will notice how the alarm pops up right here in the middle of the chart because you just placed it. But again, more on this later in the video when I talk about setting these alarms at strategic points, at an area of interest, support and resistance, all of this stuff, which is going to make sense later in this video. So don't worry. So this is just the alarm section, which we will be using very frequently in the charts. Next is going to be this little square button, which I have never used in my life and I do not plan to. And then it's going to be the indicator section. So you click this button and you will literally get thousands of different indicators that this platform has to offer. And you will only be needing one. And this one I'm going to explain as well later in the video. So in here, you can pretty much just search up whatever type of indicator you want. You simply just put indicator, and it will literally show you thousands of different indicators that this platform has to offer, but you will only be need to using one that is going to make you successful. Moving on to this section right here, these are the different types of chart ways on here you can read the chart. You can read the chart on bars, candles, hollow candles, volume candles, all different types of candles or lines or different ways how to read the price that the market is showing. And you will only be needing two, which is going to be the candlestick section and the line section. So you'll be putting a little star on that, and then instead of it popping up on your tools, it is going to pop up on this section up here. So you can see you put a little star and it will pop up in this section right here. Now, moving on to the next section is going to be the time interval. These are going to be the famous time frames that you're trading. What is a time frame? How does that work? How can you do it? What are the right time frames? I'm going to tell you more about that later in this video. This is just so you're familiar with it and you know how to look at it on TradingView. As you guys can see, there's a 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute. There's literally hundreds of different types of way you can read the market in terms of time frames, but we will only be using 7 of these time frames. We're going to be using the 15 minute, the 30 minutes, the 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour, daily, weekly, and monthly. So you will be putting a star next to the time frame that you will be using. As soon as you put the star, it'll automatically pop up on this section right here, and it will forever be saved as the time frames that you are using to execute on the market. And you will not need to be using any other time frames other than these. This way, you only focus on what matters. There's so much information on here that if not read correctly, you can get confused and it can be very overwhelming and it can throw off your whole entire trading. So you only want to focus on just these time frames, and later in this video, I'm going to teach you exactly how to use them. So now that we understand everything within the actual TradingView platform, let's actually get into the charts, right? These boxes that are going up and down, because I want you guys to understand everything that this platform shows you, so then we can move on to the next platform that you should be using and what platform you should be avoiding. So let's actually get into the charts. So as you guys can see over here, kind of in the middle of the top section, you can see how we have already favorited the candlesticks and we have favorited the line chart. So right here, this is going to be called the candlestick charts. So every single one of these boxes right here is considered a candlestick. This is a candlestick going up. This is a candlestick going down, another candlestick going down, candlesticks going up. This is basically the candlesticks representing price going up or price going down. Now, every single one of these boxes, they currently have a time frame. And this is right now the daily time frame. As you can see, the daily is highlighted in blue. So this is indicating to us that every single one of these boxes is a day. It's 24 hours in order to create each and every single one of these boxes